Hey, Devil Horn salute. Everything working? Test, test, test. Testing. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Test, test, test. That's right. This thing's working. Been doing these videos on my Army experiences as a paratrooper back in 1983, 1984, and I've done almost 30 of these videos now. I have a few in reserve. I've been choking down some horrible, god-awful MREs. I have a few memories. And as things come about, I'll do videos, and God, I've done a lot. I wasn't in that long, but tonight I had a memory, and it kind of come back, and it was about Lrrps. Lrrps, yeah. What the fuck is a Lrrp, dude? It's a LRRP, Lrrps, Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol. Now, there's always been recon, okay? And one thing that got me attracted to the infantry in the Army was recon, because what I wanted to do when I enlisted was long-range reconnaissance patrols. I was interested in being behind enemy lines, patrolling with 6 to 12 people in a team and causing havoc behind enemy lines. I was not interested in patrolling with large companies or that. I wanted to work in a small team. Now, information back when I was growing up was not available like it is today. Jesus Christ. I think if the information was more available back then, I think I would have chosen another career path. I think I would have done things a hell of a lot different. But things just wasn't available back then. Now, when I was 16 and I tried to drop out of school, I went to the recruiter and they said, don't do that. Stay in school because we're taking no more dropouts tomorrow. Yeah, when I first tried to enlist, they were taking no more dropouts the very next day. But they showed me this, it's called Spartan or something like that. It was a special operations thing, the Green Beret things. And it was really neat video. It's like, okay, well, I'll keep going to school and all that shit. Let me see if I can keep this lit now. Yeah, I got kicked out of the Army for smoking weed all these years ago, and now here, look at me making videos. So they had these little booklets back in the day, and it's really all you had to recruit. I mean, it was a combat arms booklet, and so you had these pictures of the Rangers, and the Rangers had a reputation back then of doing behind the lines, long range reconnaissance patrols. You know, they always had these guys, man, they're in creeks or swamps, and they're up to their waist in water, and they got the, they're not even wearing steel pots. They're out there looking to kill things and just fuck shit up. And, well, hell yeah, that's really what I wanted to do. When I was growing up in the 70s, Apocalypse Now came out, and I'm going to tell you straight up, it had absolutely no influence on me whatsoever. No, it was a Sam Peckinpah movie. It was a book by Willie Heinrich called The Crossfire, and that had the biggest influence on my enlistment, and one of the reasons why I wanted to go recon. It didn't have nothing to do with Vietnam at all. This book was about World War II and the Kuban bridgehead, in Russia. There's a bunch of Germans having a hard time against the Russians, and that's really what influenced my infantry decision. I should have been a tanker. I was not a good runner, and I watched these tanks blow up, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to die like that. And really, for a while, I wanted to join the Marines, but here's the thing. I knew I couldn't run, so Marines run 3 miles. They go the extra mile. Army only runs 2, and it seemed like the Army partied a little harder than the Marines, so you figure it out if you're a party animal. Hey, like that movie Platoon, we're going to blow shotguns. Whoosh, get a big shotgun blast tonight. Yeah, I mean, that, and growing up, we always liked the patches and shit on our shit, on the clothes we wore. You get what I'm saying? When we grew up, we always had the Army uniforms, and check me out. I'm in a throwback now of a Tiger Stripe Vietnam this year. This is my new style for this. And when you really look at this, the Tiger Stripe camo, it blends in good everywhere. It really does. Get your mind out of the fucking jungle. This actually blends in good with an urban environment and everywhere. The only thing that really sucks about this now is growing up, we had cotton materials. Now it's a poly cotton, and skin's real sensitive, and plus the heat now. Jesus Christ, this is made in China. Oh, shit, not even the U.S., but it's a poly cotton, and it's a ripstop. And I've had to, I don't know, wash it several times, set it out in the rain, kick it around a few times, and finally I'm just getting to where I'm trying to get it broken in enough to where it's comfortable to wear without all this other shit. Yeah, I have to wear a flannel underneath it still. But right now we're getting into fall. It's, light jacket season. I mean, I've got comfortable hoodies and shit like that, but no, I figured I'd go that. And then I wanted to zip my little jump wings on there. Thought about like an airborne, but airborne to have them, I'm like, fuck it, just leave it as is. Because even the Marines were wearing this shit back in the Nam, and they didn't have any markings at all. So it's a throwback. Tiger stripes, I think it's cool as fuck. A lot of people use that mossy oak, and everybody's got mossy oak. Go down to Walmart, buy the mossy oak, and it changes every year. I've had some really good throwback shit way back when. I wish they'd still make it, but not no more. So anyway, what was I talking about anyway? Oh, Lrrps. So anyway, Rangers had changed. Everything had started changing, and we didn't know it. I didn't know it when I enlisted. So I wanted to do long-range reconnaissance, 6 to 12 man teams. So when I enlisted, I go to, after you're done with your physical, the smart test, the physical, everything, you go back and they ask you, what do you want to do? And I go, I want to be a Ranger. I had this old, it was like a Korean War field jacket on. It was falling apart, and they all looked at me. It's like, dude, you need a new field jacket. Well, yeah, I'm here to get one. So what do you want to do? I'm going to be a Ranger. And I want to do long-range reconnaissance patrol. But short story now, and I don't know how much time's left. By the time I survived my basic training, got to my unit, that shit was gone. Now, you go to Ranger school to learn this, and I got lucky, and I've already done a video, and I don't need to rehash it. A video I've already done about I went down to the Ranger camp in Florida in January of '84, and that was an experience in patrolling in small units and that, but I guess I got lucky to some degree, because the Army was in Europe and Korea, and it was geared towards tanks and big European warfare like World War II. They always fight the last war behind, and there was the Korean problem. They had the jungle mentality where you put some guys behind the lines in small teams, and that's kind of what we did. I mean, when I was 19 or 20, even after I turned 20, after being in trouble, I can remember I could be the point guy on a 12-man patrol and lead us through. I could stop, look for things. I could lead a patrol as a point man at 19, 20 years old. And there ain't too many motherfuckers out there that can even say that. There was a lot of point men in Vietnam that got killed, though. We were after Vietnam. We were the kids that there was something in us that we went ahead and we stepped up. We filled up the shoes. There was just something about it. It was just an obligation, a duty. I don't know what the fuck it is. Like I say, I'm doing a throwback on Vietnam, but one thing I'm seeing here, let me check my time so I know not too bad. I'm not. One problem I used to have, let's say like in Sergeant York's time in World War I, was where religion played into people, and they didn't want to kill other motherfuckers. You had to train that out of people to where they instinctively, muscle reflex, whatever, shoot at a target, but eventually it's a human fucking being. Even up to Vietnam, there was a problem. By the time I think my generation's getting in the Army, that problem was kind of getting solved. We were kind of beginning to be a godless generation. Religion was kind of taken out of us. We were taken out of church. Our mentality growing up was just a little bit different. God, I hate to admit it. Sometimes we would go out, and I'm not going to go into detail. We would kill just for the sake of killing. Hunting. I'm going to leave it at that. So by the time we got in the military, we already knew the brutality that if called upon, like El Salvador, that was the big thing. Nicaragua, El Salvador, if we were called upon to do this, there was no problem in killing. And now, today, with this new generation that might be drafted, there shouldn't be no issue there. These people kill each other. They don't even think. But for the longest time, that was an issue with the military. They had to actually train this out of you. And now, by the time we got in, there was no issue. We're not going to think about it twice, wasting another human being. And that's just the ugly reality of it. And, Lrrps, no. When I was in the Ranger Battalion, became more like a shock troop. You got your Marines more like a shock troop. That long range reconnaissance behind enemy line shit that was becoming phased out because Vietnam was a long time ago, 10 plus years now. And it's a missing skill, to where, no, you still get this training in Ranger School, but overall, in the big overall picture of the military today, it's a missing skill. I think it's more geared now towards mechanized. I don't think there's enough urban training whatsoever that you can ever fucking get. Because now when you look at the combat field today, everywhere, it's an urban environment. Stalingrad should have been a wake-up call when I was in. There should have been right then and there, oh boy, we need to start training people, and we didn't get it. No urban training whatsoever. But things were still geared towards that Lrrp things. I got lucky. It was kind of not the full package, but it was kind of the end. Because when I was in, it was a transition period. It was transitioning out of Vietnam. We're transitioning into a new period because Ronald Reagan's running the show now. And thanks to Ronald Reagan, we have a drug test. And I think that's what happened with a lot of people that I saw. That they'd been in for a few years. They joined in the 70s. Well, they still could get high. But with the new drug test and everything cracking down, they said, fuck it. They just said, fuck it, we're out of here. They either got kicked out on drugs or they just said, fuck it, and didn't re-enlist. So, yeah, Lrrps, it's something that's past history. It's unless you go to Ranger School, it's forgotten skill. Look at me tonight. I'm in a Lrrp outfit, like I say. That's what I joined the Army to do. I wanted to do long-range reconnaissance patrols. It's just, if it's still out there, great. I don't know. The way the military's being geared now, it's a whole different scenario. I mean, it's like life. You have to evolve. And even the military has to evolve. And it's just a little commentary tonight on Lrrps, long-range reconnaissance patrol. It was, God, at one time, something to, you wanted to do, but does it even exist anymore in today's world? I think maybe they did that in Afghanistan, where a few small units broke off and they got in the mountains and shit, but it ain't like what it was. And I think with the evolution today in the military and the way things are, it's changed. So, horns salute to all the Lrrps out there, everybody to ever want to do long-range reconnaissance patrols, be behind enemy lines, raise hell, cause havoc, destroy enemy village, bayonet fucking babies and pregnant women, all that shit, calling a napalm strike, decapitate some heads, cause a crispy critter in a tank. Had to throw all that in shit for all it, but yeah, even the uniforms have changed. I remember when I was going in, it was cotton. It felt great. I mean, after a wash or two, the shit was good. This has been, I ordered this online. It's a poly cotton mix. It's been, God, I've had to wash the living fuck. I would try to break it in, and I'm going to sleep in it tonight, try to break it in even some more. It is getting cool, though. Yeah, fall weather. I can finally wear, it's jacket weather again. So it is what it is. Horn salute. It's experiences, some thoughts. So out of that, I'm just coming up with videos as I pull my head out of my ass and come up with this shit. So hit that like, subscribe. I'm done. Goodbye. Time to roll a blunt. In, out of time.